Well, our next guest is known for pushing boundaries in the theatre space, and it's no surprise that she's making history with something never seen on a South African stage, with an all-female version of a Shakespeare play. Award-winning director Tara Notcutt has announced her cast for her latest production titled The Taming of the Shrew. The production, which will feature at the inaugural Maynardville Open-Air Festival, also boasts an all-female creative team. Notcutt joins us from our Sea Point studios to tell us more about her latest venture. Very good morning to you, Tara, and welcome. Thanks for making the time.
Thank you for having me.
Now, for the benefit of our viewers, why don't you give us a brief synopsis of what Shakespeare's popular comedy, The Taming of the Shrew, is all about?
The Taming of the Shrew is about two very headstrong people, Kate and Petruchio, who... it's a very complicated play to explain because it's billed as a comedy, but actually it's quite an intense, tragic comedy, I think. It's quite dark. A lot of directors tend to play just for the comedy, but what we really like to bring out in this is the seriousness of the intensity of the kind of male-female kind of battle throughout. So it's going to be a lot of fun. I think it's going to be quite controversial, but I'm very excited.
And you are indeed raising eyebrows with an all-female cast and creative team. Why don't you let us in on that? What was would you say the inspiration behind making that decision was?
I was the project manager for Maynardville straight out of university. It was my first job, and I did it for 6 years. And I had 6 years of organizing auditions for amazing actors. And Shakespeare just writes a lot of roles for men because only men performed it, obviously, back in the day. So you would have all these incredible actresses auditioning who wouldn't have the chance to be able to play a more substantial, meaty role, but would actually sort of, you'd have 100 women trying out for like 3 parts. And I thought, okay, if I ever get the chance to do it, I'd really like to do something as different as possible. And the chance came up, and they said, they invited me to self-produce it. And I thought, well, if I'm going to be doing that, might as well cast all the amazing women that I know in Cape Town. So and here we are.
Now, you recently announced the cast, but won't you take us through the actual casting process and just how challenging or easy or great it was for you to cast all these women who now have to sort of take on these really strong roles? As you say, Shakespeare doesn't ordinarily write strong character roles for females. So how was that process for you?
It was a lot of fun. We had 159 people audition, and then about 25 further than that send self-tapes from other cities. And it just made it so difficult to choose because really just every single person who came in had something different about them that made them special, which I know sounds like a really cheesy thing to say, but it's really true. And I think what was really wonderful was seeing how many women were so happy to give up their time and to really just take a chance on something which is very new and something that we're kind of making it up as we go along. And to see how many people were game to try was really great. We then called back 40 people and then chose our 10 from those 40.
And how do you think this project, or your cast in particular, will tackle issues of gender, issues of marriage, issues of family, which are quite central to this production?
They're all very excited. I think everyone's the most excited to play a man. I think, just judging from how everything went in the auditions, we've created a space. Well, the space that I hope to kind of keep going is a space where people are open to debate and to, really sort of expressing how they feel about something using a classic text. So we're setting it in modern times. It's sort of set in the early 2000s. So just good old nostalgic music and terrible fashion, and really bringing out modern ideas of gender and of marriage, and trying to sort of tackle those and debate those by using this classic text.
And how important would you say is it for us to continue to encourage women and to support women who, especially in creative spaces, where they literally have the smallest of roles reserved for them and the bigger, more dynamic roles reserved for our male counterparts? Why is it so important for our society to continue to allow women to push boundaries, especially within the creative arts?
It is so unbelievably important. I don't think I can stress how important it is. As a young woman myself, I've been really lucky to have an incredible support system around me, and I don't know if I'd be in the same position that I am today if not for the teachers and people that I've had. And I really think now, I'm 31, I'm in a position where I now have the power to kind of make a difference to other younger and older women's sort of careers and chances, and giving them the space to be able to sort of express themselves. And I think that's really important. I think more people should do it. I think women are wholly underrepresented in theatre, both on stage and behind the scenes, which is really important, which is why it was so important to me to have an all-female creative team as well, because it's one thing to have, women on stage, but to actually have the entire environment be, giving people a chance. Other than one cast member, every single person involved in the show, it's their first time doing Maynardville, which I think is wonderful, but also very telling of the position that we sort of sit, particularly in Cape Town theatre at the moment.
Tara, thank you so much. You're phenomenal, and big congratulations on all the great work that you're doing down there in Cape Town. That's award-winning director Tara Notcutt. She's assembled an all-female cast and creative team for her latest production. It's Shakespeare's popular comedy, The Taming of the Shrew. The production forms part of the inaugural Maynardville Open-Air Festival. Make sure that you get down there to see it if you are in Cape Town.